The Bronze Age was a 500-year success story as city-states and empires succeeded in conquest, trade, and diplomacy. That is, elites did well, in part by using peasants as pawns and the source of riches. There were problems like ecological damage and developing hatreds along class lines. Basically, everything that could go wrong did. That included drought, famine, disease, civil disorder, and invasion, which occurred over centuries. It happened in the Fertile Crescent, Anatolia, and the Eastern Mediterranean. Archaeologist Eric Klein's book on the subject was 1177 BC, the year Egyptian pharaoh Ramses III defeated a coalition of foreign invaders. That's as good a date as any. Systemic collapse meant lots of failures where trade networks stopped, empires collapsed, and invasions were widespread. A megadrought happened and famine expanded, which brought dissatisfaction, death, and probably migrations of angry soldiers and marauders ready to attack neighbors, plus refugees. There is no question about the destruction, only on specific factors and results. Egypt survived in diminished form. Mycenae collapsed completely. Success usually meant diplomacy and trade, with rulers exchanging gifts of friendship. There were just too many warrior kings thinking wealth, power, and glory. Big empires included Egyptian, Hittite, and Babylonian. Secondary kingdoms included Ugarit in northern Syria, Minoa on Crete, and Mycenae on the Greek mainland. An interesting site of many attacks was Megiddo in Canaan with 20 levels, many showing destruction by war. In Africa, there were the Nubians to the south, Canaanites to the north, and Libyans to the west. There could be multiple Egyptian factions. A powerful Assyrian emperor might attack from the north through Canaan. The Hyksos invaded from Canaan, now Israel, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan, and created an Egyptian capital at Avaris in the Nile Delta, ruling northern Egypt from 1720 to 1550 BCE. The Minoans may have dominated Mediterranean trade, but a tsunami from an earthquake on nearby Thera in 1628 BCE, then invasion from Mycenae, ended their relevance. After Mycenae collapsed around 1200 BCE, literacy stopped. Greece suffered a dark age. Then classical Greece rose in Athens centuries after Homer, with Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and more centuries later. How the collapse happened here is still a mystery, conveniently with multiple theories. There was Homer during the 8th century BCE, the mythology of Agamemnon of Mycenae, Helen, and Paris of Troy. Is there real history or just the start of Greek mythology, like Thucydides and Herodotus later claimed? There was the site at Hissarlik in northern Anatolia considered the probable site of Troy. The Trojan War would have happened between 1250 and 1175 BCE. The site at Hissarlik showed destruction about that time. The claim in Exodus was the Israelites had been in Egypt 400 years, arriving about the time of the Hyksos invasion, which happened around 1700 BCE. The probable timing for an exodus was about 1350 BCE. There is just no evidence. There was evidence that Israelites were peaceful residents in Canaan. The survivors of Canaan included the Philistines, Phoenicians, and Highlanders. That included Judah and the northern kingdom during the 12th century BCE. At the time, the Hittites were at war with the Assyrians in Mesopotamia. Have I got your attention? Collapse meant chaos. How did this activity across so much of the Middle Eastern and Mediterranean world result in the Iron Age? Next time on Food History and Mystery.